welcome back in. It's Mill Ave Moguls, your Mill Ave Sports Gambling and Sports Betting Analysis podcast. We're going to be breaking down the Week 1 NFL matchups against the spread, picking all the games. We're going to bet all the games. We don't take any shortcuts here. But with that being said, we do have quite a few games to break down, so let's dive right in.
This is our first Mill Ave Moguls podcast. Tanner, you have any words for our listeners?
I'm just trying to get this money. Secure the bag. That's what the podcast is about. That's the motto here.
As am I. Secure the bag.
All right, so we're going to break it down. The Thursday night game to kick us off. Season opener for the NFL. Green Bay Packers visiting the Chicago Bears. The line on this is the Bears -3. What are your thoughts?
Bears -3. I do want to clarify that we are using the official Bovada odds. Lines may change.
The official Mill Ave Sports Mogul potential future sponsor could be you, Bovada.
Use our promo code Mill Ave Sports.
TBD.
May not work right away, but we're
just keep trying.
Email to come through. Yeah, it'll work at some point. First game, Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears. Starting off the 100th season. You got new coach of the Packers. You got the Bears, who are some would say the best team in the NFL.
Also reeling from their double doink in the playoffs last year. Let's just bring up the elephant in the room right off the bat.
We do not have a rearview mirror here. What's in the past stays in the past. We don't look back, only forward.
Kick it to the Bears have it. The Bears have
the Bears have their kicker situation.
I've heard some stories coming out of camp.
No one in Chicago is worried about the kicking situation because
you got your pulse on the kicking situation.
Okay. The Bears organization knows exactly what they're doing, and they have everyone right where they want.
Well, they are favored by a field goal.
That worries me.
What's the pick?
We talked about this a little bit beforehand. Usually, when you got a home team, when you got a team favorite in the mix here, we like hedging our bets, but week 1, I'm taking the Bears. I'm going all in.
Taking the points.
If I win. Yep. Bears -3.
All right, that is great to see that right off the bat because I am taking the Pack. Should have had them in week 1 last year. They freaking broke Rodgers down. That won't happen this year.
No rearview mirror.
No rearview mirror. That's right. But Packers finally going to unleash Aaron Rodgers in what could have been his entire career. Now that he's not playing with the seatbelt, that is Mike McCarthy. Holding him back, holding him in safe.
People are talking the LeBron.
Put the hood down. Let's let this Lambo go. All right. Let's let this Corvette go.
Little Packers humor.
Second game, we got Rams traveling all the way across the country to Carolina to visit the Panthers. That is going to be an early kickoff for them as well with the travel.
Is Cam going to be healthy?
Rams are favored by 3. I read a report that said Ron Rivera said Cam should be good to go for week 1. So if you're basing it, let's base it off the fact that Cam will play, because that's what the spread is still set at, is that Vegas still thinks Cam will play. But with the road, they're basically saying that the Rams are a better team by giving them the road favorite.
See, this is tough because this is the one game that Bovada had locked, so you couldn't choose one. So right now,
I didn't know that with the Cam. They don't want to be screwed by that. So.
True.
But let's stay with where the line's at, saying Cam is playing this week.
Yes, but I'm just saying for my simple brain, I don't already have it taped out, so I gotta go through others. I think I'm going to go. I'm taking Rams -3.
I am also taking Rams -3.
Aaron Donald, second best defender in the league behind one Khalil Mack.
Yes.
Game changer.
1A, 1B. Don't come after me here. No. But
Max 1A.
I'm taking the Rams kind of either way, whether or not Cam plays. I think the Rams are better. They obviously might have a Super Bowl hangover. We won't talk about hangovers with the Bears. They didn't show up at all at the Super Bowl. They must have missed their flight. But with that being said, I think they're the superior team. They're loaded. They picked up some veteran additions. this Todd Gurley news is nothing to me. I think he's going to be fine. They're just going to ease him into the season. They're going to get his legs under him. They're going to get a nice balanced workload of other guys, and Jared Goff is going to keep improving because he just loves to prove his dad was wrong. So
I agree. I think
easy pick for the Moguls here.
Rams -3.
Rams -3. Take it to the bank. Next up, we have an early game. The Washington team visiting the Philadelphia Eagles. Trying to be.
We're PC here. We're very PC here. Yes, Eagles -8.5. That's a big spread, but Redskins are going to be starting Case Keenum, and I do not trust Case Keenum or the Washington NFL team.
Are they starting Case Keenum or Haskins?
They're starting Keenum.
Keenum?
Yeah. That's the most recent I heard.
Ooh.
I've been wrong before.
I'm making a mid-game switch here. For some reason, I thought Haskins was starting, but I'm switching.
And you would have taken.
And I was in the way of the wood because I think Haskins is trash. I am taking the Redskins +8.5 against Philly.
I thought you were saying that you were taking the Redskins.
No, they'll cover. No, I was originally taking the Eagles.
I thought you were originally taking the Redskins because you thought Haskins was starting. And that's where I had a little bit of a problem with it. But, I still think that the Eagles are the much better team and are going to win by a touch. It's going to be a 2-possession game.
They're going to win by a touchdown? Is that
a touchdown?
Is what I hope happens.
2 touchdowns. It's going to be a 2-possession game.
2-possession game?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I'm thinking that it's going to be within 8 points. Redskins are still a very good overall team. They're going to want to establish that run game with Darius Geis right off the bat. They want to get him out and running. They still got AP. They're just going to pound the rock and play deep. I think that formula keeps them within 8.5 points. Moving on, we're covering the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets next. The Jets are favored by 3 points in this matchup. It is a home game for the Jets. Le'Veon Bell's first game, potentially as a New York Jet, if he does not get suspended between now and then, or decide to hold out for some unforsaken reason. I am feeling Jets all day, every day. Basically, they have these as even teams in Vegas by only giving them a 3-point favorite, which is what all home teams pretty much get.
Right.
I just think that they're significantly better than the Bills. They spent a lot of money on the defense.
I don't know. I got to disagree.
Quinn Williams, Leonard Williams, C.J. Mosley.
My simple brain has the Jets picked, but I think I'm going to have to switch them. Game time decision, and I'm going Buffalo Bills. I think that Josh Allen is the best quarterback in this matchup. And I like Big Third. And I like
Do you know my affinity for Sam Darnold? I love Sam Darnold. Ever since the draft, he was my number one guy coming out.
You're a little fanboy.
I am a fanboy. I think Sam Darnold is going to light it up this year, let's say. And that was Le'Veon Bell is going to be the primary benefactor in that relationship.
You got 2 sophomore quarterbacks. You got 2 great running backs in Le'Veon Bell and LaShawn McCoy. It should make for an interesting matchup.
One of them is closer to retirement than the other. We'll let you make that decision.
Le'Veon did sit out a year. I think he's contemplating retirement.
Next up on the slate, Atlanta Falcons visiting the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings are going to be a 4-point favorite at home. Do you have any sort of feel on this game?
Yeah, Minnesota's
at home. Yeah, Minnesota's at home. That's it.
No, you're right.
That's it, Vikings. I'm laying the wood here. I'm laying the 4 points. I think Minnesota will win by 4. It was a disappointing year last year.
We have a lot of different picks.
It was a disappointing year last year for Minnesota. Atlanta and QB Matt Ryan had an under-the-radar season. I believe he was 35-7 TD to pick ratio. But I just think Minnesota is going to get back to what they were 2 years ago. They didn't lose any defensive guys for the most part. They kept their team intact.
Do you think that this is
can Kirk Cousins step it up?
Do you think this is the year that Kirk takes the next step?
They also had a trash offensive coordinator last year in John DeFilippo. He's out. They're going to feature Dalvin Cook. They dealt with his injury last year. I think they're fine. They got Thielen and Diggs and Rudolph. They have enough to go around. Like we're so short-sighted.
We are dealing with nothing here.
So we're dealing with nothing except for the disappointment that everyone felt when the Vikings were, the Super Bowl favorites in the NFC.
I wasn't
potentially, and they went 8-7-1, and everyone's off the Vikings when they're just as good this year. Except for
you could say the same thing about the Falcons.
Last year they were big-headed. They had just gotten their guy. They thought they were a shoo-in for the Super Bowl.
I think Matt Ryan is like the Phil Rivers. He's like the Phil Rivers of. He's in the same trajectory because he's the guy who keeps getting older, but keeps kind of getting better. And I think that Calvin Ridley's going to be a huge force. They got Julio.
Well, to stick with your theme of AFC West comparisons, and Matt Ryan is to Phillip Rivers, what Kirk Cousins is to Peyton Manning and the Broncos, where you built an incredible team around an average to below average quarterback. I think the team for Minnesota is by far superior.
We're losing credibility here, Tanner.
We're gaining it.
I'm going Falcons plus 4.
Let's wait till these picks fall through.
You got Vikings minus 4 on that.
I got Vikings minus 4, correct. Sorry, thank you for touching base on that. Next up on the docket is Baltimore Ravens visiting the Miami Dolphins. The Ravens are a 5-point road favorite. It is the biggest road favorite of Week 1. Which side do you lean in? Talk me into it. I'm kind of in the middle.
Easy sell here. I'm taking the Miami Dolphins because all signs are pointing towards Ryan Fitzpatrick starting.
Bingo, and I also have the Dolphins.
Week 8
showing proof
quarterback.
That I got him penciled in as well.
Boom.
Dolphins at home. Fitzpatrick is amazing. First quarter of the season until teams are like, oh, we remember how to play this guy again. Ravens are going to ground and pound the football. They want to run it. They want to play D. It's going to keep the score lower. I'm thinking something along the lines of like 17-14 Ravens.
Right.
That totally seems viable to me.
See, if
Miami doesn't even sneak it out.
If there was one game that I'm going to need a live bet, it would be this one because if Brian Flores plays any Jay-Z, I'm automatically switching my bet over to Ravens.
You're going to watch that line move as Jay-Z get back in on the Ravens at whatever cost. Yeah, I'm kind of ignoring the first year Brian Flores coach.
Does he know what he's doing?
Only because this is a game with so much depends. We have no idea what these two teams are going to look like. Does Lamar Jackson take a next step? Do they just run Mark Ingram and Gus Edwards and Justice Hill into the ground? What's their offense going to look like?
The Ravens are the one team that can finish either 5-11 and 11-5, and I wouldn't be surprised either way.
Yeah, well, I think their floor is 7 wins, so the Ravens can never get less than 7 wins.
Oh yeah.
So they're going to finish 7-9 or 9-7.
How do you think Harbaugh got the job?
And then Miami, everyone's so down on them. The Ravens are going to think that they have this game locked up, and I love when teams think they have the game locked up because the other team is like, we're going to come in. You're going to come into our house. We're going to smack you in the mouth in the first half. You're going to reel, and we're going to squeak out of the game. That's how it works. All right.
Give me the points. Give me the Dolphins plus 5.
Plus 5 as well.
And as long as Fitz is starting, give me the over as well. 37.5.
37.5 is the over?
Yeah, Fitzpatrick could get that in the first half. And then go for 0 in the second.
That's a very intriguing bet. So, next up, one of the most anticipated games.
Before you go any further, I think it is important to clarify that this is strictly suggestions. This is not any legal advice. This is not legally binding, and we will not pay your bookie for you.
Yes. Thank you for getting that.
But we will take donations to pay our bookie. So, with that being said.
All right. Well, with that being said, we have one of the most anticipated games of Week 1. The Kansas City Chiefs heading to Jacksonville to face the Jaguars. Most people still think the Jags have an elite defense. They probably do, but we have to see it. We didn't see it all last year. 2 years ago, it was electric. They finally have a quarterback, supposedly. Big Dick Nick is trying to come to Jacksonville and be the savior for that franchise. Doesn't work week one. At home, a 4-point underdog at home for Jacksonville.
I'm saying no. I don't think this game will be close either. I think the Chiefs are possibly the second best team in the league behind the Chicago Bears. And I don't see the Chiefs getting any worse from last year. I think that this is a game that
you don't think Pop affects them at all?
No, I don't think so. I think they're going to be able to pick up the slack in other areas. I think.
You don't think
Mahomes
might slow down?
Mahomes might regress a little bit. Hill has obviously dealt with a lot of distractions. I don't know. I think they're better than 4 points more than the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yes, I also think that Kansas City is going to win by more than 4 points. The over-under on this matchup is 52. Don't really have a feel on that because I do think that it could go under that, but nobody has time to bet the under, so just ignore that. But Kansas City is just a superior team, better quarterback, better weapons, an improved defense with Ty Matthew. Chris Jones is one of the best defensive linemen in the league. Almost, it's ridiculous to say because it's the Chiefs and fantasy, everything, but I feel like this is not giving them that much respect.
And
I mean, maybe.
I think Andy Reid in Jacksonville is just untouchable.
Yeah, for the first 17 weeks. Sure. But that's where we're betting, all right? We'll get the playoffs when we get there.
I need him in the Hawaiian shirt out in Jacksonville. I need that to happen. I see it at the Pro Bowl, and Jacksonville. He could think that Jacksonville is just another Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii East.
East Hawaii. The Big Island.
Last morning game of the slate, week 1, we have Tennessee visiting Cleveland. Cleveland is a 6-point favorite. Mariota, Mayfield, what's the play? Are you laying the wood and taking the 6?
Here's the thing with the Browns is I know they're a much better team than last year, and they're an even better team than the 2016 or 2017 Browns. But it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, But I still think I'm going to take the Browns. This is prime Drew talking himself out of a pick and then using that as a reason to make that pick. With no merit involved.
Did you say you had the Titans first?
No, I was just saying that I was talking myself out of the Browns. But I'm picking the Browns.
So you circle back around.
Yes.
You started at the Browns, you tried talking yourself into the Titans, and then you just realized it was a...
Yes, I really want to take the Titans. I do, because it's the Browns. But,
we're playing against the spread.
I got to take the Browns.
They just got to win. They just got to lose by 6 to push.
These are the two most untrustworthy.
Yeah, actually, you could look. I didn't have a selection on either side. This is the one.
You're leaving this
zero selection because I have no idea.
This is my Rams Panthers.
Yeah, I have no idea. Titans, Mariota's trash, but I like Vrabel. They have Derrick Henry, Deion Lewis. Could their receivers step up? They might not. They drafted A.J. Brown. They still have Corey Davis. You have all these,
Deion Lewis just lost the
their defense is going to regress a little bit because they did lose some of their guys. And the Browns got significantly better adding OBJ. This should be a no-brainer. And for some reason, I'm riding the fence because I just don't necessarily trust the Cleveland coaching staff. I just don't trust. Some of their antics. But I think week 1, I have to lay the wood. I have to go the Browns.
Let's go.
If for no reason other than to just match Drew Lighting so I can have a better record at the end of the week.
Dog pound, baby.
Great game.
Cut. Stop. Cut. Stop. Oh, God. How do I do this?
How do you stop it?
A click.
All right, moving on to the first night game listed here. We have the Indianapolis Colts heading west to the Los Angeles. Oh, it is afternoon. That's right. You're right. All right. Respect. Indianapolis Colts
certain time zone. It is
heading west to the LA Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers, who will also be commonly referred to as the San Diego Chargers here. All right, I'm not.
We're old school.
Yeah, I'm not going to change it up just for them. Who do they think they're?
Win a playoff game.
You may have heard, but if you haven't, breaking news. Brace yourself. Pull over if you're driving. But Andrew Luck has retired and will not play this year for the Colts. Obviously, has moved the line heavily from a Chargers favored by 3 at home, basically saying that the Colts and Chargers are even teams, to now the Chargers being favored by a touchdown at home against the Indianapolis Colts. This is the best roster the Colts have had,
minus Andrew Luck.
Asterisk, they did not have their quarterback, which is the most important position in the NFL.
And you know what, though? I mean, our motto is secure the bag. That's what he did.
So are you leaning Chargers with this game?
Yes.
Okay, now let me talk you into the Colts.
Okay.
You have Melvin Gordon sitting out.
I knew it. I saw that coming.
Hunter Henry, who knows?
Okay.
You're going to have to pass a lot. The Colts, this is the best defense that they have had. You know, with Darius Leonard, they have a good young secondary.
Is Antonio Gates still on the Chargers?
That is a great question.
Because that has a low waiver rate.
Does that push it over the top, or do you think that makes them susceptible to an upset?
I like a Chargers team with Antonio Gates. It's the only Chargers that I know.
All right.
But you know what?
He's still playing.
Are you going to talk to your coach right now?
Wants to return to the Chargers.
Wow. No.
Okay.
Sticking with Chargers.
Jacoby Brissett has been getting most of the first team reps all of preseason, all of camp, because Andrew Luck has been sitting out with his injury, with his quad injury.
True.
You have a dynamic backfield.
True.
You have T.Y. Hilton. You have the speedster Paris Campbell. Like, you have guys on that offense that can get loose. You have Marlon Mack, Naeem Hines. Quentin Nelson, if they want to just pound the rock against the Chargers, who could potentially be in for a rough year on defense.
Yeah.
So they have lost some guys on D.
Those are great points.
You know.
I know.
But with all that being said, of course, I got to go to the Chargers as well. Like, I was trying to make the case for the Colts.
So why are you taking the Chargers?
Why am I taking the Chargers?
Yes, because you had me sold on the Colts. I mean, I don't
then take the Colts?
No. I'm taking Chargers.
I'm trying to say on the Colts so that you can get off the Chargers and go to the Colts.
I know.
Chargers on myself.
I know what you're
doing. All right. But I just think
the
Chargers are a better team, even without Melvin Gordon. Eckler and Jackson are good enough to get it done for one game, for 2 games, 1 game at a time type of mentality. Hunter Henry, who knows? But Phillip Rivers always uses all of his weapons. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams could be in for a big upgrade if Melvin Gordon does.
Where does Keenan Allen rank in terms of wide receivers in the league? Top
10.
Top 10?
Top 10. Top 5, no way, but he's between 6 and 10.
I'd agree with that. Yeah. I mean, we could go through the list right now, but I think I agree with that. Yeah.
So, where does he rank on receivers you want to have to start a team? That's a different discussion. We're going to maybe bump him down. He's getting older.
Good point.
And he has, been somewhat injury prone throughout his career. But for 1 year, with, assuming that he is healthy for the entire year, he's a top 10 receiver.
Yes.
Mike Williams could be in play, a former top 10 pick in the first round. Does he finally, get that breakout year? Wide receivers, tight ends tend to be a little bit slower.
You have Joey Bosa on D.
Joey Bosa and Ingram on D still.
So
you have your pass rush. You still have Casey Hayward.
Yeah.
But Derwin James is going to miss the year. potentially.
That's okay.
If not, he's going to miss a few games. I don't think they necessarily will need him right here, right now. But this is where Vegas always gets you. You know, you're sucking.
This is a vacuum pick. They're sucking us in right now.
Yeah, they're sucking you in with 7.
We're falling for it. This is going to be.
If this line moves to 7.5 when you go to bet it, take the Colts.
Yeah, I'd agree. That's 7.
Because
that's right where I need it.
28-21, sure. You know, totally plausible game.
So I could say this for 4 of our picks, 4 of my picks so far,
but I think that extra half point is too rich for my blood, which, you know, if you're willing to go the extra half point, you probably should go the Colts anyways. But, you know, smart money.
If you like to look
money, we're betting on the Chargers. Yeah. Moving on, next game, we have the Cincinnati Bengals visiting the Seattle Seahawks, so they're going up northwest. Cross-country travel, late time kickoff for them, afternoon kickoff for them. Seahawks are favored in this game by 9.5 points.
Give me your thoughts. Give it to me. Let me hear it. I think we're going to agree on this if I know you.
For me, it's too much. Even for a team that's going to be without AJ Green, for a team as badly thought of as the Cincinnati Bengals, everyone consensus, unanimous, thinks the Bengals are trash. So they're going to have a top 5 pick. But 9.5 for the Seahawks, who don't have any vertical weapons outside of Tyler Lockett. One, all right, outside of Tyler Lockett. And
Carson,
even then, he didn't even have 1,000 yards receiving last year as the number 1 guy. So you're going to tell me that you're going to...
Is Metcalf going to be healthy?
Metcalf has an injury right now.
Is it questionable? He's there for week 1, and you can't...
You're putting all your trust into Metcalf, though?
No,
you're putting all your trust into a rookie wide receiver? Go ahead, because...
We're not putting all our trust in him. We're factoring in the fact that he's a weapon.
I'm factoring in that Tyler Eifert is going to be healthy for week 1.
Joe
Mixon is going to pound the rock. You know, their offensive line is a little bit banged up. I heard some news that Jonah Williams might not play.
Is this the year that Andy Dalton faced the next step?
Andy Dalton is solid. Like, he's not ever going to lose you the game, but he's also not ever going to win you the game.
I think Bengals
but you know what he's going to do? He's going to keep you losing by 4 or 5 points. And that's exactly what I need to cover this 9.5 points.
No, he's going to keep you losing by 4 or 5 points until he throws a pick 6, and then they cover the spread because they win by 10.
Okay, so you're taking the Seahawks as my understanding?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, let's lock it in. Let's lock it in because, you know, that's an easy done for me. 9.5 points. These are still grown men playing NFL football. Wow. And, you know, when the lights are bright, the Seahawks don't have any vertical passing game. Like, they're going to run and play defense.
I think that you could very clearly define both Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf as vertical weapons.
I don't know. They have yet to prove it in the NFL. Let's just say that.
Okay. All right.
Moving on, because clearly this is just getting the blood boiling here.
We're not going to change
San Francisco 49ers traveling across country to Tampa Bay to face the Buccaneers. 49ers trying to get some of their players back from last year's injury-riddled campaign. Obviously, Jimmy G, the big one, the most important guy coming back for the 49ers. They potentially had Jerick McKinnon, they signed Tevin Coleman. They have all these nice additions. They drafted, enough.
It's basically
but Bosa can't stay healthy. Basically a pick-up.
Who's the better team?
Well, they're saying that 49ers are the better team because they're taking away some of the Buccaneers' home favorite factor. But Tampa Bay also has a new coaching staff. B.A. Bruce Arians, former Arizona Cardinals head coach. B.A. 50-win coach with the Cardinals in 5 years, is one of the best.
Is he the Jameis Whisperer?
He is the Jameis Whisperer.
So you're taking Bucks?
I'm taking the Bucks. -1 all day.
Wow.
We don't need running backs. We don't need them because guess what? He didn't use them in Arizona anyways.
I am going. Right. I'm going with the Bucks.
Pass-catching running backs, which is what they have in Ronald Jones.
Taking the Bucks, you got O.J. Howard and you got Mike Evans.
Yeah, so we're
talking
Bucks.
vertical threats.
O.J. Howard, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. That's all you need for a Bruce Arians system. With Jameis Winston taking all the risk in the world, letting it fly. I think this is easy. Bucks will cover by only 1. Niners probably have to get a couple games with their feet under them, get Garoppolo back in some game action.
Jimmy G is a bust.
So.
Hey everyone, thanks for catching us on today's show. Hopefully you're enjoying it so far. Do us a favor and go ahead and subscribe if you can, like the show if you can. We really appreciate those people that do that. It helps us out a ton. Also interact with us on social media, Twitter, Instagram. Our tag is @MillAppSports for most things. And enjoy the rest of the show.
All right, moving on from the Bucks. Next up on the slate, we've got the Giants visiting the Cowboys. The boys are a 7-point home favorite against the Giants. This is an afternoon game. What's your feeling here? Zeke out?
Yeah,
Remember that?
Zeke is not going to be playing. I don't know if that's official yet, but I'm going to go ahead and make that assumption. I'm taking the Giants +7.
I also think
I'm going Giants +7.
Without Zeke, I just don't know if the Cowboys can.
Give me Daniel Jones by halftime, and it won't even be a game.
You don't think Eli has one more,
I think he's got 1 half, yeah.
one more spread coverage in him?
That is true.
The boys win by 4.
He does have his whole bag of tricks.
Is this line factoring in the Zeke?
No,
I don't think it is.
I can't tell.
Because I think that if Zeke was playing, it would be a 7-point favorite. So I think if Zeke wasn't playing, what does this hover around? 4?
Wait, if Zeke wasn't playing?
If Zeke is out. Once Zeke's ruled out, does this line change?
So you think they're assuming that Zeke's playing right now?
I think they're assuming that Zeke's playing.
I think that they are probably... No, I mean the Cowboys.
What do you push it up to then? Like 10?
No, 9.5. Yeah, Cowboys at home against the Giants. But I mean, I'm taking the Giants. Yeah. With that being said,
everyone thinks they're going to be dog shit, but
and granted, they will be dog shit. But
week 1, they could pull out.
Saquon's going to put on a show. He's going to show out.
Ingram is good. Their wide receiver core is pretty banged up right now.
The wide receiver core is not great.
Non-existent almost. Say. All right, but so we're both picking the Giants.
There's really no reason why we're doing this. I mean, at least from my side.
No reason why you're picking the Giants?
Well, no good reason. I have reasons.
Yeah, it's just the points. I don't want to have to lay the wood on the Cowboys with potential that Zeke might not play.
Yeah, Cowboys -7 just never sounds good. It's never sounded good in the history of the NFL.
Yeah. Moving on. We have the Lions visiting Arizona, traveling west. The Cardinals are a 2.5-point underdog against the Lions. So they're saying that the Lions are a better team than the Arizona Cardinals.
Yes.
What's your feel on this game?
I would agree with both in that sense. I agree with the odds makers.
So you're taking the Lions?
No. I'm taking the Cardinals.
Taking the Cardinals +2.5.
Yes, I'm taking the Cardinals +2.5. You know what? I know that Kingsbury it's all bullshit when he says we haven't shown anything about the air raid offense yet. It's definitely just all bullshit. It's filtered bullshit.
You're basically talking in a circle and making 0 sense at all. So let's hammer this up. Okay. What is the pick?
Cardinals +2.5.
Cardinals +2.5. So you think the Cardinals will lose by 2 or win the game?
Yeah.
But you think that their offense is also dog shit.
Yeah.
So this makes 0 sense. Like your logic and reasoning.
Okay, but then again, I have no good reasons to pick the Lions -2.5. I wouldn't be able to talk myself into that. Matt Patricia is injured. I think he's going to be hobbling around week 1.
What does Matt Patricia have to do with anything? What if he's
Dude, he's the heart and soul of the team.
He's the head coach.
It's not that stuff.
I am actually taking the Lions -2.5 here because you'll see a common theme from me all year round.
Your bets. It is.
I am betting against my favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals, because I don't want to get doubly heartbroken on Sunday afternoon. I don't want to lose my money and lose to the Cardinals because I bet with my heart rather than my head. I think the Lions are perfectly capable of winning by a field goal. Even in Arizona, we're coming off a 3-win season. We have a rookie head coach, a rookie quarterback. Fitz is getting older. We're still waiting on some of our breakout receivers. We're talking about wide receiver course in the Giants. and we're talking about a couple other of them, and the Cardinals potentially are equally as bad, if not a minor step above some of them.
Right.
No tight end, really to speak of. Charles Clay is a shell himself. Ricky Seals-Jones might not even make the team. Max Williams is a blocker. The defenses look like trash. They've given up, their first team defense has given up a touchdown against the Raiders pretty easily.
But
we've all seen it on Hard Knocks.
But the Cardinals did sign Michael Crabtree.
They did sign Michael Crabtree, which again bumped up their wide receiver core slightly. But if the Cardinals are going to get off to a good year, have a good year, it's going to be because they got off to a hot start. But
both of which
again,
are
I'm playing with my head solely here, not my heart, because I think the Cardinals are going to smash the Lions in that air raid. The pro raid is going to light it up. Can the Lions put up 43 points, the Cardinals 40 points? I'm not sure.
Okay, so we're both taking the Cardinals plus 10.
No, I'm taking the Lions. I just said this.
All right.
I literally just said it.
Tanner's got Lions
because
2.5. I'm taking Cardinals plus
best
1.5.
case scenario, Cardinals win, Lions don't cover.
Give me the Cardinals.
I lose a little bit of money, but the Cardinals win. All right, and we lit it up.
All right.
Moving on, we have the Sunday night game. We have Pittsburgh visiting New England. The Patriots are a 6-point favorite against the Steelers. In home, week 1, no Antonio Brown, no Le'Veon Bell. What's the vibe here? What's the feeling?
Well, he set me up for failure right there by that explanation, but I'm taking the Steelers plus 6.
Steelers plus 6.5 from Leiden.
I think it's just 6.
Well, plus 6. Might be. Don't want to skip you on your.
Yeah, we can push. We can still push.
I am taking the Patriots every day that ends in Y. I think the Steelers are going to have a rough start to the year. I think the Steelers are going to have a rough start to the year. They have to go to Foxborough, play a Sunday night game. New England has, for the most part, off the top of my head, owned the Steelers. They can win by a touchdown.
Yeah. But this is
they still got Tom Brady.
This feels like a very Ben Roethlisberger game where he goes down and throws for, he doesn't have to. It's two best weapons. James Washington, Juju.
Yeah, Juju's going to get his. James Conner's going to get his.
He's going to eat.
But
Washington's having a great preseason.
The ball more to, deal with the Patriots offense, which is going to be uber efficient and score on a ton of drives. They're going to pound the rock. They're going to keep away from the Steelers. They're going to force them into, playing from behind, and that's when the Patriots are at their best.
We'll
they're
see.
Playing ahead.
We'll see.
And they're making you make mistakes.
Who are some of the weapons? Give me some of the Patriots' weapons.
Patriots' weapons? For one,
Michelle.
Nikhil Harry, the greatest wide receiver of all time.
Great point.
Is about to start his career. All right, go Devils.
No argument.
You have James White. You have Sony Michel. You have Damian Harris out of Alabama. Rex Burkhead, potentially. You still have Julian Edelman. You just got Josh Gordon back. He just got reinstated.
I think that you could.
And you're still telling me.
You could match up some of the Steelers pound for pound and make a case that if you take Juju, Josh Gordon, I think plus Juju's better. You're taking James Conner.
I'm just going to throw this out here.
Sonny Michel, James Conner.
Are we sure Gronk is fully retired, or is he going to, Saturday night be like, hold up?
No, he is so.
Coach, can I play?
He's in the CBA.
Playbook's still the same. I know it.
He's in the CBA
I'll be there
right now. He's not coming back. There's no chance.
Yeah, but even then, I still think New England has enough weapons to cover the 6 points. I'm laying the wood at home. Let's lock it in.
All right.
Moving on to Monday night, we have a doubleheader per usual, kicking off the season. Both games are going to be featured on ESPN. We have the Houston Texans visiting the New Orleans Saints. That is going to be the first game of the Monday night. Great matchup. We have New Orleans favored by 7 points at home. This is a premium matchup for me. This is the must-see Monday night game. Tune in, watch Houston, battle New Orleans.
This one
Two
is
of the
tough.
best teams in the NFL.
This one is tough.
What's your feel?
I'm going Saints.
Ooh, I am also going Saints, so we're double dipping on the Saints. Tell me why.
Texans, not going to have Stadion. Not going to have Lamar Miller. They're going to have to rely on Duke Johnson. And he's never been more than change of pace third down back, which he was very good at.
I think he can be more than that, but
you think
you're asking him to learn the entire playbook in a short amount of time, which means that they're going to turn the ball over to Alpha Blue more.
Right.
If he's even still on the team, I'm not even sure.
Again,
But I just think the Saints are better at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Saints are better. They're playing at home on Monday night. You have, Breeze on opening night.
Yeah.
He's healthy.
I'm taking him by
They got
touchdown.
Cook.
It's a touchdown.
It's a touchdown. Worst case scenario, we push, but I do think the Saints are going to be good enough to win that game. I'm doing it. For some reason, I just got this urge that said, "Go Texans." I'm switching to Texans. And I think the Saints are going to but I just am like, I know, and I still think the Saints are going to win, but
you just gave so many good points.
I just had an urge, and I just had to change it on the spot. I literally just scratched it out and switched over to the Texans right now.
Listen to you.
That's what I did.
All right, good.
I didn't listen to my head. I listened to my heart on this one.
And
I think that Deshaun Watson, somehow, some way, Newcomb is going to go off. Hopkins is going to ball out. They could keep it close. Lose by 6.
Okay.
So I'm going Texans.
All right.
Wow. Wild night here. Last game of the week 1 slate, we have the Denver Broncos visiting the Oakland Raiders. The ultimate primetime game. You have Raiders coming off Hard Knocks. You got Gruden, you got Carr, you got Antonio Brown.
You got
Is he going to be playing? Does he have his old helmet? Who knows? What's the feel in the game?
I'm going Raiders -1.
I'm also going Raiders -1.
I've been able to study them all preseason, every Tuesday night on HBO. Hard Knocks against them that had money, but I'm going Raiders.
Yeah,
they're going to be fired up.
This line is telling me that the Denver Broncos are a better football team than the Raiders, and I simply cannot believe that.
I can't trust it. Cannot trust it.
You're having Joe Flacco. I mean, Derek Carr's no fucking saint, but you're going to tell me that Joe Flacco is going to lead Cortland Sutton, Emmanuel Sanders coming off injury, Philip Lindsay and Royce Freeman to a victory.
If you asked him, the answer would be yes.
Or to a 1-point loss. I think the Raiders at home, the last season in Oakland, that's where they're playing, right? They're playing last season in Oakland?
Yeah.
So their last season in Oakland, or maybe they're playing the stopgap city. I don't know. We'll have to see that. But either way, I'm still feeling that the Raiders are going to come out. Antonio Brown is going to be rocking week 1, ready to go with his helmet and his feet, totally fine.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to want to eat. If there's an over-under for Antonio Brown receptions, take the over.
Yes.
He's reaching it week 1.
And
they're feeding that man. They're giving that man
They're going
the ball.
to make him happy. They're going to feed him. No new friends for AB. Hates Big Ben. Hates the Steelers. He's coming out with a chip on his shoulder and he's playing Bro Flacco.
Yeah.
Give me Raiders.
Give me Raiders -1. That was an easy one. Also, talking another side prop bet. Forgot to bring it up earlier, but I'll bring it up now. If the Phillip Rivers pass yards, for whatever reason, is less than 300, or even less than 320, I would say smash that over if Melvin Gordon's playing. Smash that over. He's going to light it up against the Colts at home.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I would just, keep an eye on that.
With Melvin
the props for week 1 aren't necessarily out yet for me, so I haven't been able to take a look at them and deep dive into them. We will do that on future episodes. But just something to keep an eye on. If you're feeling that over on the Los Angeles Chargers, Phillip Rivers passing yards, I would say take it. It's probably a pretty good bet.
I don't think I've ever gotten a prop bet right, so I will do a few on my own. I will not broadcast it for your guys' sake. And I'll see how that goes. If I really start, if I keep fucking up, then maybe I'll start announcing them. You guys can just face me. But yeah, so picks are in.
Yes, picks are in. Week 1 slate is completed.
Book it.
We got one more detail
advice
to touch. Thank you. We just hammer that at the beginning and the end of the episode. Do not bet any money that you cannot lose
bet
on
the
these
house.
games. And also, might be smart to take the opposite of what we are saying. If we agree, take the opposite because we're most likely.
Don't bet the car, bet the house.
Vegas is always smarter than us. Remember that. But last thing, we're going to be doing a little survivor activity. We are each going to pick one team. We cannot duplicate the teams.
One team per week.
One team per week. We cannot duplicate the team. We cannot pick the same team.
Cannot pick the same team.
Very similar to typical Survivor rules, except the fact you can't pick the same team each week. If that team ends up winning, you're in free and clear. No harm, no foul. You move on. If your team loses, you have to pitch in $10 to a pot, and that pot is going to be used on a much larger bet come Super Bowl time from later in the season. So
It's the
here's to hoping
Moguls
that
Trust Fund.
we build that pot as much as possible with Drew Lyons' money, and we don't take any of mine. We're going to dive right in here. We're going to do rock, paper, scissors, best of 100. So if you don't mind giving us a quick second,
and we're going to alternate from here on out.
we will be right back.
Rock, paper, scissors. Shoot. Are we
We
going
gotta
to
shoot, man. We gotta rock, paper, scissors, shoot. That's how you always play.
We don't shoot where I'm from. I'm from Chicago, so we do it a little bit. Northwest suburbs, so not as much. Alright. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, fucking get out of here.
Tanner's up 1-0.
Alright, and we're back. So we freaking just did 100 of these. We decided to cut that part of the podcast because it just wouldn't be fun for you to listen to. I ended up winning. I'm going to pick a guaranteed lock. If you want to bet the money line, bet as much money as you want. But again, this is not legal advice, so don't take it to the bank. Can't sue us for it.
Give us the pick.
Put the disclaimer in. I am going with the Seahawks over the Bengals.
Nice.
I know I have the Bengals in the pool. I have the Bengals plus 9.5, just because the point spread's so large. I do think the Seattle Seahawks are going to win at home with Cincy coming all the way to Seattle to play an afternoon game. I think that is an easy pick. I think that is a lock. Survivor lock of the week.
See, I'm glad you picked them because we talked about having a plan A and a plan B in case yours gets picked.
Did you not have a plan B?
I did not have a plan B, and I was panicking when you were about to pick because you picked the most heavily favored team, and I'm about to pick the second most heavily favored team.
All right, you're about to pick my plan B. Yeah.
Philadelphia Eagles over the Redskins.
Eagles over Redskins, but with Keenum, I just can't take that risk.
Oh my God! That makes me even more inclined to take the risk.
No, but when I have the first choice, I'm going to take the most heavily favored game. It's just to pick them.
The numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
Vegas always wins for a reason.
Vegas always wins.
But
I do think the Seattle Seahawks will beat the Cincinnati Bengals. Drew thinks that the Philadelphia Eagles will beat the Washington football team. So we'll see how this goes. We'll track week 1. We'll get better week 2. This is a learning process.
that's the idea.
For all of us. All right. You don't have to risk any money. You just get to laugh at us losing all of our money.
Or we can laugh at you
for not
taking
having
out
us
some
because
legal advice.
we are going to be winning a lot of money. I can already tell. Well, I think I might be. But that'll do it here for episode 1 of the Millab Moguls, part of the Millab Sports Gambling, Sports Betting podcast. So tune in for our week 2 picks. We also might be rolling out some of the most popular college games. We'll have to wait and see on that. I lost a lot of money on Florida. Felipe Franks, what can I say? Piece of shit. Don't even come to Arizona. But, I got to get a better vibe before I start losing all this stuff.